Shalom. First, I give all praise and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah, Bahashem Kapadash. And there's just going to be some reading, a few precepts, maybe 2 or 3. Just giving the status on fake so-called Negro Latinos and Native Americans. Just letting you know, man, we're still slaves here under Esau Edom, the so-called white man. We're not free. We're not in our own land. And we're in want of all things from this man. Money, paychecks. Whether you have your own business or not, you still got to get a business license. You still got to get your certifications and get your utilities turned on, through the state, or whether it's these companies that Esau Edom has, utilities, your utilities and things like that, insurance. No matter what, it all leads back to Esau Edom, the so-called white man. And you so-called Negro Latinos and Native Americans that think you're doing great, especially a football player, man. Some kind of athlete, some kind of celebrity who's getting real good, biscuits in Esau's kingdom. A nigga start developing a complex, man. Like he's on some type of level. But all you are is a overpaid, highly paid slave, man. You still have to get out there and perform for your money. You still have to get out there and coon, chuck and jive. Not only do you got to play basketball, but you got to do stupid dances to entertain the people. And you go look yourself in the mirror like you're doing good, man. But the whole time Esau Edom was up in that skybox looking down on you and saying, look at my niggas play ball, man. Or looking at you so-called, Latinos down there kick a ball, with soccer. Whatever the case may be, Esau Edom, the so-called white man, controls you and owns you, no matter how much money you're making or how much you made. He gave it to you, and at any given moment, he can take it away, man. He can drum up some charges saying, you raped some woman, molested some chick from 30 years ago, 20 years ago. You don't want to play ball with him no more. You don't want to make Esau Edom no more money. He'll figure a way. Or you try to take over what he got and get in on the big piece of the pie. He'll set you up, man. He'll put do a smear campaign on you, man. Saying you're a low-life piece of trash. You great women. You have all them women up there lying and crying and have your ass hauled off, man, like they did, Piffy. But the reason why he can do that because you're still under his control, man. He still has ownership over you, man, with paperwork, social security numbers, birth certificates. You're a product of the state or whatever you state you're in, man. So no matter how you slice it, you tied in the Esau Edom system. And whenever he's ready, he's willing to go ahead and initiate the process to throw your ass overboard, man. To throw your ass into a pit. Break you, take your money, smear your name. Because, hey, you in need of one of everything from Esau Edom, man. food, water, clothing, your paycheck. No matter whether you niggas say, "Oh, I work for myself." Yeah, but you getting your raw materials and your products from Esau, Edom. So I don't want to hear that shit. You self-made. You ain't self-made. You still have to use the so-called white man system to get your money, man. His supply chains and things of that sort. You have to buy from his suppliers, his distributors to get your diesel. Niggas ain't got their own gas companies, man. Don't know so-called Negro, Latinos, and Native Americans own Exxon Mobil. So let's get some precepts. Try to wake Jake up, man. Bring your ass down a notch to reality. Then you nothing but a damn slave still, man. We not free. Just look in your pocket and pull the money out, and who face on that? Motherfucking white man on that, man. You don't see Leroy on there nowhere. So that goes to show you're still a slave. You're still on conquered land by the Edomites. Let's get some precepts here. This is Jeremiah 50:33. Thus says Yahweh hosts, Yahweh armies, the children of Israel, who are the northern kingdom, the so-called Latinos, and the so-called Native Americans, and the so-called Seminole Indians, who consist of the children of Israel, and the children of Judah were pressed together. And Judah meaning the dark tribes, the so-called Negroes, so-called Jamaicans, so-called Haitians, Jacob, the West Indies. We're considered the tribe of Judah, but we all come from the nation of Israel, man. But it's saying, hey, we're both oppressed together. We all depending on Esau Edom system some type of way. It says, and all that took them captives held them fast, and they refused to let them go. They refused to let us go, man. No matter how much these low-level Edomites talk about, oh, go back to Africa, you're not from here, go back to your own country. But the higher-ups, the elites, the ones in the government, refuse to round us up and send us back to Israel, man. They won't do it. Because they know they need the Jews, the Israelites, man, to keep that shit going. If you got the Israelites in your nation, man, you're going to thrive. But they won't tell us that. They'll just say, hey, we number welfare kings and queens, felons, on the low level. But on the high end level, the elite, they say, no, keep their asses there. Because we need them to build up our nation. To keep our economy going, man. Keep our court system going. Keep the drug trade going. We need them, man. Our sports industry, entertainment. By they what's the word? Buy they shitty clothing, cheap shoes. They need us here to buy their garbage, man. To buy and promote their garbage. So that they refuse to let us go. And they're not gonna let us go. And the only way we're gonna be let go and set free is when Yahweh shall come back to redeem us, come back to buy us, man. Spoken about in Deuteronomy, where it says, well, no man shall buy you. Yeah, no man here on this earth, but Yahweh Shah is going to come back and buy us, man, and take us out of Esau Edom's clutches. He's going to free the elect, you know, no matter where they are in the earth. They're going to be redeemed from this damn devil, man. You know, and whatever heathen our people up under, man, being oppressed up under. But the main oppressor here in Babylon and the majority of the world is Esau Edom, the so-called white man. Because the nation of Israel and the nation of Judah are oppressed together here in Babylon, America. All the tribes are here in Babylon, and we're all oppressed together right now as we speak. Let's go to Jeremiah 30. And verse 14. It says, all thy lovers have forgotten thee. That's talking about the heathens. Everybody outside of you so-called Negro Latinos and Native Americans. You know, our lovers have forgotten us. Because Jake has went a horn and laying down with these heathens idols, man. You know, you join yourself into the heathen. But once you got joined to the heathen, the damn heathens pull a flea flicker, man. You know, they stood in our place. You know, they say, hey, they gonna be the people in Israel. You know, they're gonna take over the communities. You know, for the economic goals in the hoods, in the barrios. You know, they're going to take over. You know, and leave you so-called Negro Latinos at the bottom, man, begging, scratching, and asking for jobs from them. And that's exactly what happened. It says, for I have wounded thee with the wound of an enemy, with the chastisement of a cruel one. So yeah, the Most High has wounded us with the wound of an enemy, man. It says, with the chastisement of a cruel one. For the multitude of thy iniquity, because thy sins will increase. So yeah, the reason why he threw our asses into slavery, you know, because, hey, our sins were increased. Jake don't know how to stop. Jake just get, you know, evolves into being more wicked. Jake don't like asking for the old path, which is the good way. Jake is always looking for new ways, looking for the new path and new avenues to create wickedness, man. You know, and our lovers, you know, are smiling ear to ear. You know, I see them all day. You know, I'm delivering shit to them all day. Hair supply products. You know, beauty supply products. I'm seeing Ryan buying their Lexus. You know, they got their big homes. You know, that they're living in, making money off you so-called Negro Latinos and Native Americans. You know, they're living life on the hog because they got us down at the bottom, man. And you know, and you already know that scumbag Esau Edom, the so-called white man. You know how he living deliciously, man. All this is his. And the dogs lick our wounds, talking about these other nations. You know, they living comfortably, man. They living real good too, man. But you know who's not, though? You so-called Negro Latinos or Native Americans, it's not a lot of us who are on or have the wealth, like these heathens do, man. The nice houses, the businesses, things of that sort. Because truth be told, we weren't brought here to try to get a leg up and be successful and let Babylon, man. We were brought here for a punishment. Not saying that you can't get a business or anything like that, but that's not the goal. The goal is to get back with your power, Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua, so you can get the hell out of here, man. So you could be saved from the said perils that are coming, like the famine, pestilence, war, Jacob's trouble. That's what it's about. Not wanting to be in Forbes magazine. You want to be the best rapper alive and all this kind of dumb shit. It means nothing at the end of the day. If you don't have Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua, man, it means nothing. Absolutely nothing. So you have to realize that, you're still a slave here in Babylon, and no matter what Jake is scattered, no matter where we scattered at, man, we're still under the clenches or under clutches of this Edomite, man. At any given moment, he can just declare war on your country, wherever you at, and lie and say you did something. And next thing you know, he got a few months later, he got damn nukes or damn Tomahawk missiles raining down on you, man. And won't nothing be done to stop it either. Can't nothing be done to stop it. There'll be no get back for this man until Yahushua comes back. He's the one that's gonna pay Esau Edom back for all the lies, the treachery, and the wickedness he's committed over the centuries. And we're gonna see it, man, Lord willing. I'm gonna be able to see it. But the elect are gonna see this man fall completely down. We're gonna see his headquarters of wickedness known as America burned to a crisp. No more. So, I'm gonna go ahead and get out of here. I pray this video was edifying. And believe this, man, Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua is getting closer, and they're going to destroy this place known as America and redeem the elect, and put Esau Edom, the so-called white man, and the rest of these heathens in chains, man, to serve us. So before I get out of here, I'm going to give all praise and glory to Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua Ba'Shem Kawadash. Shalom.